So, guys, I went to go see Tommy Robinson, and I'm going to break the world record of fastest person to break their NDA. No, I'm joking, guys. I'm not going to break the NDA. So basically, me and Ricky Doolan, we went to go visit Tommy Robinson. However, we filmed it on live, and the quality was so poor. I'm gonna insert a clip of the quality, and I was trying to convince myself, do you know what? Information over quality, but I couldn't do it. Like, I'm too much of an OCD freak, neat freak. Like, I like everything to be perfect as possible for you guys. And so I thought, instead of posting that really bad quality, it literally looked like it was filmed in 1962. I said, let me just, refilm it and just talk about my prison visit to Tommy Robinson and basically walk you guys through it. But before I begin, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Yeah. So first things first, maybe 5 hours before we had to go to the prison, obviously we received our NDAs via email, and obviously the NDA said that only friends and family can go and visit Tommy Robinson, and we are not allowed to speak about anything in terms of his legal matter or what's happening in prison. We're only allowed to report on his condition, which again was just a red flag, because how is someone who has reported a documentary like it's just the hypocrisy, in the sense that if he's such a horrible person, shouldn't us as journalists be allowed to go in there and report on the fact that he's a horrible fascist racist? But the fact that they're not allowing us to just goes to show that they have something to hide, and what they have to hide is the fact that the character that they've painted Tommy Robinson out to be just isn't that character. But you have to follow the laws. Not only that, Tommy's team strictly told us that to not break the NDA because it would just make Tommy's case worse. So obviously we got to the prison, and guys, I have to tell you guys this, right? Most of the prison guards were African immigrants, and this is where it gets very, very, very interesting. There was like two Nigerian men, there was one Congolese man, sorry. There was also like an Englishman. I saw a South African lady, but most of them were like African immigrants. They all had strong accents too. So when we got in, the first thing they said is, "Are you here to visit Stephen?" And we said, "Yeah." And it was like, "We was expecting you." So they was waiting for us. And then I was like, "Wow!" And they had a smile on their face too when they said we was expecting us. And we was like, "Why was you expecting us?" He was like, "Oh, because Tommy Robinson's a very famous man." So I just asked him, "So what is your thoughts on Tommy Robinson?" And this is where it gets very interesting, right? He said to me, "Tommy Robinson is just a common man fighting for his country, and I would do the same." Do you know how impactful that is? It's so impactful because people like him, people like myself, the media tries so hard to convince us that this man and people that look like Tommy Robinson, patriots, white people, straight people, Christian people, hate us. So for him to be able to do what I've done and many other people are doing, maybe it's like Baraka, Brown Boy the Traveler. The media does such a good job at trying to convince people like myself, black people, African people, even Asian people, that people who look like Tommy Robinson hate us. So for him to be able to do what I've done, which is kind of overlook what the media has said and just listen to what Tommy Robinson has to say, it really stood out to me. And I also asked the other prison guards, like, what do you think of him? Like, what do you think of him? They was like, he's just a common guy. Like, he's fighting for his country and he hasn't really done much wrong. And one person said something. He said, there's a difference between the elites and the common man. I support the common man. And you can tell that he was slyly trying to tell me that he supports Tommy Robinson without actually trying to tell me he supports Tommy Robinson. I even spoke to another prison guard. This was the one that was taking us around the prison, and he was just telling me, "Listen, Tommy Robinson, he couldn't even hurt a fly. Like, he's such a cool guy. Us in the prison guards, we speak to him, we bust jokes with him. Like, he's such a cool guy. I don't." He literally let us know, like, the fact that he's in prison is absolutely ridiculous. And he was just discussing with me and Ricky how the country has just gone to complete, sorry to say that. So that was the first thing that stood out to me, was the fact that you had actual African immigrants agreeing, even though they weren't trying to say it, because obviously you have to protect your job, but agreeing with the fact that his imprisonment is unjust. And they had nothing but nice things to say about him. The fact that he has a lot of great manners, he's a really cool person, he's a really nice guy. And It just stood out to me. So I had to let you guys know that. And hopefully that can encourage other people as well to stop believing the media lies. I feel like, and let me also mention something, right? Most of these Nigerians, when we were speaking to them, the immigrants, they all told us that they were Christians, you know? And they was mentioning how the reason why they're not against Tommy was because he is a, well, Tommy hasn't confirmed he's Christian, but we all know he's leaning more towards that. And it just goes to show that, like, it's only Christianity that can unify people. It's only Christian. No other religion can do that, you know. And I feel like liberalism has done such a successful job at dividing us, making it about white against black and Asians against English and English against Africans. And when really and truly, when it comes to Christianity, we are one. And when I heard the prison guards basically insinuating that they support him, and they believe that his solitary confinement is unjust, I was just like, yeah. So we can talk the talk all day about politics, about reform, about this, about that, about mass migration. But I think the real topic of the conversation should be Christianity and restoring it back into the heart of Britain, because without that, there will be no unity. And so that just took me and Ricky by surprise. The second thing that happened when we entered was obviously they had to, you know, scan us, look into our tongues, our ears. I thought they was going to tell me to take off my wig. They didn't, thank God. And yeah, they made Ricky Doolan, because obviously Ricky Doolan was wearing this big cross. They made him take off his cross. And obviously the prison guards, we knew why, because obviously Woodhill is full of jihadis. But that's another thing. Like, why are we even allowing these people into our country if they do not support Christianity, or if the cross even angers them enough to try to harm Ricky for simply wearing it? So yeah, they literally told Ricky, like, for your own safety, you have to take this off. And that was another eye opener, in the sense that why do we keep importing people who have a hatred for what is essentially the foundation of this country, which is Christianity? So yeah, that was another thing. And obviously, we walked around and we finally saw Tommy Robinson. Now, when it comes to Tommy Robinson, what I can say, and I don't say this to be offensive, I say this to report the truth to you guys, but Tommy Robinson has aged for about 5 years. He does look 5 years older. Like, from the last time I saw him in summer to seeing him yesterday, when you guys see him, you'll realize that he has aged. Like, he has wrinkles all over his forehead, he has wrinkles all over his face now. And Tommy has always had a very youthful face, I've always thought, but you can see that he's aged a lot. And not only that, he has a full grown beard now. His beard was up to here. Not only that, his beard was ginger. And when Ricky pointed that out to him, he was like, yeah, this is my Irish heritage coming out now. Um, which is funny because the media calls him a fascist, racist, but his mum was literally an immigrant, an Irish immigrant that came into the country. But anyways, so yeah, so physically he has aged. He has aged a lot, and it just goes to show that solitary confinement has been very hard on him. Not only that, just what has been going on in the last. He's been there for 6 months now. Will take a toll on him, because technically with solitary confinement, I think a person is supposed to only be there for 2 weeks, and he's been there for 6 months. Not only that, when you just think about all the stress he was going through legally, not being able to see his family, being starved, and just everything we've been seeing on the news is taking a toll on him. So I would love to sit here and say, oh my gosh, he's doing amazing, he's doing all right, but physically you can tell he's not. But regardless of him physically not looking okay, spiritually, he seemed very, what's the word? He's a strong guy. He's a very, very, very strong man. Very strong man, because even though physically you can tell that he's under a lot of pressure, mentally and spiritually, the way he was speaking to us, he was speaking to us as if those 6 months has just been a walk in the park. Literally, that's how he's been speaking to us. He didn't complain about his situation, he didn't moan. And what stood out to me and Ricky when we was discussing after was that the whole time he was with him for like an hour and a half. He didn't talk about himself, he didn't talk about, oh my gosh, this is so hard. He didn't talk about, his the mental torture. He literally did not speak about himself. He just kept speaking about the country, the country, the country, the people, the people, the people. He kept repeating, I don't want to disappoint people. I don't want to disappoint people. So I'm telling you guys to tell you guys that, like, he's such a selfless man, in the sense that, like, the fact that in that hour and a half he barely discussed himself, and he only just discussed the people, the country, his family, just goes to show that, like, he's such a man of principle, and he's such a patriot. It doesn't get as what's the word, patriarchal, is that even a word? I don't know, but it doesn't get as patriarchal, I don't know if that's a word, as Tommy. Obviously, guys, I can't tell you guys everything he said. Not only that, it's his story to tell. But what I can say is that he is a strong guy, and he doesn't wear his pain on his sleeve, if that makes sense. Um, he was very hospitable towards us. He bought us snacks that he ended up eating by himself. Imagine he bought us snacks, but he ended up finishing his own snacks. um, yeah, like, he was very hospitable towards us. He didn't wear his pain on his sleeve. He didn't moan about how bad his situation was. He just kept talking about the people, the people, the people. I don't want to disappoint the people. I want to be a better person when I come out. And that's as much as I can say about how he is doing. But as much as he's trying his hardest to not wear his pain on his sleeve, physically, guys, like, when he comes out, you guys will see, like, whoa, he has aged about 5 years, which is scary. Imagine aging 5 years in 6 months. Another thing that stood out to us was his faith. Tommy is leaning a lot towards Christianity. He's becoming very curious about Christianity. He's studying it. He's realizing its importance, because as me and Ricky was talking about, his life experiences, Ricky kind of made him realize, like, the hand of God has been upon him this whole time. Because technically speaking, someone like Tommy Robinson should be dead. And I don't say that to be mean, but when you think about how many people hate him, whether it's the jihadis, whether it's Labour Party, whether it's the public, whether it's, the racists, so many people hate him. So technically, he should have been dead by now. He should have been assassinated by now. He should have been harmed by now. But the fact that he hasn't been just really goes to show that the hand of God has been upon him. And Ricky kind of pointed that out to him. So I think that kind of restored his faith again in Christianity. So in terms of Christianity, nothing is confirmed. I don't want to sit here and say he's a Christian, but he is becoming more curious about it. And that was our main goal when it came to me and Ricky going there, was just finding out how is he in terms of his walk with Christ, and where is he, and how we can help him continue to grow in that area. So I would say that he's becoming more curious. Um and he's just been realizing just how much the supernatural is real, because, like, I think he's aware that he shouldn't even really be alive. He was even talking about a situation where he wanted to give up on this whole movement because it was just becoming too much. And that same day when he literally was like, I'm giving up, Elon Musk gave him back his Twitter account. So he was like, yes, I'm back. And yeah, we were just telling him about moments that has been happening. I told him about the Archbishop of Canterbury moment. He was laughing his head off, guys. That video is hilarious. We told him about, obviously, the marches and how they're growing. We were telling him about how the movement is growing, but more people are waking up. We was letting him know that the prison guards are in support of him, which he kind of has figured out. Um, and yeah, that I'll be completely honest, that's as much as I can comment on, guys, because we can't break our NDA and it will harm him if we went into nitty gritty details. Not only that, it's his story to tell. And another thing that stood out to me, last but not least, what stood out to me was when he came in, he looked a bit distressed and stressed and sad. But that hour and a half of Ricky kind of joking with him and us kind of lifting up his mood, he just seemed a lot happier towards the end of our visitation. He was kicking his feet up, laughing, joking around. And it just goes to show the importance of just brotherly love. Like, this is what this channel is about. Like, I want this channel to encourage people to stop giving a monkeys about race. It's not about that. It's just not about race. It's not about skin color. Like, these things are just, it's just flesh. It's just flesh. It's just pigmentation. It's just melanin. And the fact that we place so much importance on these things when really and truly they're nothing, um, is just ridiculous. So you can tell that the visitation definitely lifted up his spirit and lifted up his mood, because when we came in, he was a bit like down, and when we left, he was a lot more happier. So it just goes to show the importance of brotherly love. And what do you call it? There's somewhere in the Bible it says filial love. The visitation went well. All I can say is that obviously he's not in the best position because physically he doesn't look great. He's lost a lot of weight too, guys, a lot of weight. He has like a mini Jackson 5 afro as well. I didn't even know his hair was quite curly, but it just goes to show when you're under pressure, you look like a different person. And but I just wanted to report on his condition in the sense that he's not in the best position, and physically is showing, but his ability to not wear it on his sleeve, to not complain about it, to not moan, like, it's shocking to me, because if I was in that position, I would be like, guys, get me out. But he didn't care. He's just like, this is just what I need to do now. And he said something I completely forgot to mention, and he was just like, I'm actually just sacrificial lamb, and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with that because it's bigger than me. And in this current time where you're seeing a lot of people kind of backing away from the movement, but yet Tommy, in the condition that he's in, is still standing firm on the movement, is why he's hailed as a hero. And when he comes out, oh my gosh, it's going to be an earthquake. Like, it's going to be an earthquake. All the lions are going to wake up. But yeah, guys, this is what this channel is about. I want people to look at my channel and be inspired almost and encouraged to, one, realize it's not about color, it's not about pigmentation, it's not about skin tone. It's about Christ and Christ's love. So therefore we have a duty to show a brotherly love, a sisterly love when people are down, to support them too. And second of all, he's just such a cool guy. He's such a cool guy. Like, there's moments where we're speaking to him and we kind of forget that he's the Tommy Robinson. Sometimes I forget that he's like one of the most famous people in the world, one of the most talked about people in the world, because he's so chilled. He's so chilled. Like, he's not one to toot his own horn the way others do. And last but not least, he is moving towards Christ. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the visit. I just wanted to inform you guys on a couple of things. One, if the prison guards are able to overlook what the media is saying about Tommy, not even just Tommy, but the far right quote unquote movement, what's your excuse to not overlook it as well? Stop being such a slave to the media. Liberalism divides people, it's Christianity that unifies people. So that was what took me and Ricky by surprise, because these migrants who work in the prison, they pretty much work for the establishment, but they even agree that the establishment has taken it a bit too far. The second thing, obviously, I wanted to let you guys know is that he's not in the best condition. I'll be honest, physically showing, but his ability to not wear it on his sleeve is so applaudable, because obviously lately we have been seeing a lot of people kind of like backing away from the movement. But the fact that he's in solitary confinement and yet he's still standing firm on his decision on that documentary, he's that guy. Tommy Robinson is that guy. And last but not least, he is straying more towards Christianity. It's not confirmed, but he's curious about it. And also, I just want this channel to be a channel that encourages people to overlook skin tone and culture and race and ethnicity and language and just fleshly things. Like, skin tone is just a fleshly thing. I could bleach right now and turn white, and then what are you guys gonna do? What are you guys gonna say? You guys still gonna be like, it doesn't matter. A person can get a tan in Spain right now and turn black. That's when it just doesn't matter. I know that's the worst example, sorry, but it's just none of these things. What matters is that brotherly, sisterly support that I am certain me and Ricky gave to Tommy whilst he was in there, because when we came in, he looked very, when we left, he looked very cheerful, and that's what it's about. But anyways, guys, if you guys want more videos like this, like and comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye, guys.